In this video, we are going to learn how to compare numbers 0 through 5. So Marta has built a tower over here, and I see some red blocks and some blue blocks. I want to know how many red blocks I see and how many blue blocks I see. So I'm going to go ahead and count them, and I'm going to start with the color red. Remember, when you are counting your objects, you do want to cross them out as you say the number out loud. So that way you do not count an object more than once or miscount it. So 1, 2, 3. Did I remember all my red blocks? Yes, I did. So I'm going to go ahead and write the number 3 next to the word red. Okay, now I'm going to count how many blue blocks I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I miss any blue blocks? Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and write the number 5 next to the word blue. Okay. So now I want to know which amount of blocks that I have less of or more of. So do I have more red blocks or more blue blocks? Now, we have been looking at the picture to help us to decide, but today I'm going to show you how to use a number line to also help you decide which number you have more of or which number you have less of. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the number 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you are going to use a number line, you just want to write it somewhere on the top of your paper, at the bottom of your paper, somewhere where you can see it. So I'm going to look for these two numbers on my number line. I'm going to go ahead. I see the number 3, so I'm going to go ahead and circle that real quick. And then I also see the number 5, so I want to circle that too. Looking at my number line, which number, 3 or 5, is closer to 0? Three is closer to 0. So that tells me 3 is less than 5. So that means I have 3 less than 5 and 5 greater than 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my markings and I'm going to put an X on the number 3 since that one is less. And I'm going to circle the number 5 because that one is greater. So here we are with Marta again. She had blue marbles and red marbles, and she moved them around and organized them so they're right next to each other. And she saw that she had 2 blue marbles and 5 red marbles. So I'm going to show you again with the number line to help you. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't want to go past 5 right now because we have only learned how to write numbers 0 through 5. So this is as far as my number line needs to go at the moment. So I see the number 2, so I'm going to go ahead and circle it. And I see the number 5. Which number is closer to 0? 2 is closer to 0 than 5. So that tells me 2 is less than 5. But I can also see by comparing my pictures that I have 2 and not enough matches to match with 5. So that means 2 is less than 5. So I'm going to put an X since that's my smaller number. And I'm going to put a circle on my greater number. So even here, Marta moved the marbles around. And just because they're moved around doesn't mean that's still not the same. So let's check just to make sure. So I'm going to match a blue to a red, a blue to a red. Well, I still have a lot of red left over, so that tells me I have 2 is less than 5, and 5 is greater than 2. So we're going to do this guided practice together. I have the number 1 and I have the number 4. And I went ahead and drew objects to help me decide which number is less than and which number is greater than the other. So I drew a balloon for 1, and then I drew 4 blue balloons for 4. Well, if I match them up, I do not have any more red balloons to match my blue balloons. So that tells me that 4 is going to be greater than 1. Now I could also use my number line to help me decide. Okay, so here's the number 1 and here's the number 4. 1 is closer to 0 than 4 is, so that tells me 1 is less than 4. Let's look at number 2 together. I have the number 3 and the number 2. I drew 3 green balloons and 2 orange balloons. So I'm going to compare them by matching them from a green to an orange balloon, or I could use the number line. So I see here that I have more green balloons than I do orange balloons because I don't have a balloon to match with this green one. So that tells me 3 is greater than 2 and 2 is less than 3. Same thing with looking at my number line. I see the number 2 and the number 3. 2 is closer to 0 than 3 is. So 2 is going to be less than 0. So today on your worksheet, what I would like for you to do is looking at your numbers. So I have 5 and 3. I want you to draw a picture. 5 objects, 3 objects. Make sure to use 2 different colors so that way you can tell the difference. And then I would like for you to match them up just like we did in the examples. Or if you use the number line, I'd like to see the number line probably at the top up here and see that you use that to help you. Now remember, when the number is greater than the other, I want you to circle it. And if the number is less than the other, I want you to put an X on it. Thank you.